Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, where we talk all news, comics, and media related to the Transformers. On this episode, we've got EarthSpark and Rise of the Beast updates, a bunch of TFcon LA guest announcements, and Renegade Studios teases their next expansions to the Transformer-themed card and role-playing games. Today is Friday, February 10th, and this is episode 324 of Transmissions Alt Mode.
Welcome to Transmissions Alt Mode, the podcast that has nothing better to do on Super Bowl Sunday than watch the new Rise of the Beast trailer. I'm your host, Charles, aka Big C, and I'm joined by the excellent Transmissions team, which tonight is Jeremy, aka Yakko.
Hey, how's it going? Let's talk Transformers.
As always, we start off the show by thanking our Donatreons, those lovely people who support us on Patreon and PayPal. Thank you all so much for your continued support. We really appreciate it. And it's because of you that we can keep doing this every week and enjoy it. If you are not a Donatron and would like to become one, just go to transmissionspodcast.com/support. That's where you can sign up. And of course, as a part of your membership, you get a bunch of perks, including some bonus shows. And we've got lots of bonus episodes of our special show put on by Daryl and Dr. Pants. That's We Like Big Bots. So we've got 10 episodes already available for anyone to take a look at. And that's right from our Patreon page. So you can check out all the episodes of We Like Big Bots and enjoy Daryl and Dr. Pants' discussion of some big bots. More coming soon, very soon, in the near future. This week, we've got a new bonus episode of our live play Transformers RPG podcast, Empire of Rust. So this is the early bonus uncut version of the next episode, which will not be out until next week. Actually, just coming this Monday. So you only have to wait a couple of days. But if you are a Donatron, you already have access to the bonus version. This is episode 95, The Gravitas of Navitas. And you can listen to that right now from our Patreon page. And if you are not a Donatron, you can just wait until Monday when it will be up in the regular feed. And that's at transmissionspodcast.com/rust. So you can listen to the regular edited version there. But if you want all the bloopers, extra content, that's Donatron exclusive. So check that out. Okay, let's get into the media news. This week, we're doing a bunch of media news. We've built up a good backlog, so we're skipping our EarthSpark reviews for this week, but we'll get back into that very soon. Of course, with Daryl out, we're a couple people down, so we're gonna get into some cleaning out all our media backlog. So let's get into it. First up, just a couple weeks ago, there were some auctions on eBay showing off some of the early Transformers the movie character models that were done by the animators at Toei. So you can take a look at all this artwork that's mirrored on TFW 2005. I think the auctions have long since ended, so whoever actually got this artwork, got this original artwork, and I don't know what they paid for it, but it does look very cool. I mean, all these character models are really nicely done, and it's pretty close to what the final animation was in the movie. So these all look very cool. And you've got Springer, RC, Galvatron, Scourge, Unicron, Hot Rod, Cup, Blur, Sharkticon, Wheelie. So all these classic characters.
It looks like it's all the new characters that were introduced for the movie.
Yeah, because of course this was the Hasbro's giant toy commercial where they killed off all the characters you loved from the cartoon and gave you all these new characters. And they wondered why it didn't do well at the box office. But anyway, it all worked out in the end. Almost 40 years later, it all worked out.
Yeah.
Okay, next up, we've got some art from Ken Christensen on some of the cards that he did for the Transformers Magic the Gathering crossover. So you can check out. These were all uploaded to Ken Christensen's social media accounts to show you the cards he worked on. So this is Ratchet, and we also have Jetfire here. So it's cool to see the line art, of course. We've talked in the past, and this is something that Daryl has mentioned several times about how the Magic cards did not credit the artists for these Transformers cards. They just credited Studio Volta. So I'm glad to see the artists are, at least online. They can show off, hey, these are the cards I actually worked on, and you can see the line art here, see the original line art. So make sure we know and we can spread it around who the artists are that worked on these different cards. So
I think in particular this one is neat because I don't remember ever seeing a depiction of the Ark in the mountain quite from this angle. It's really cool.
Yeah, it's a definitely we usually see it just face on. So yeah, this is interesting to see Jetfire flying over it and seeing that angle there. Cool. Okay, next up, we've got some character art from Transformers Battlegrounds. This is uploaded from artist Mary Sue Challenor, and she is putting it on her ArtStation account to put a concept art gallery of characters she worked on of Transformers Battlegrounds. This is the strategy, the turn-based strategy game that was released in 2020. We actually did a mini review of that on Transmissions. We actually were able to get a review copy of that. I still have it on my Switch. I don't think we were super whelmed with this game. It's kind of meh. But these character models look pretty cool. So if you just take a look at that. We've got a bunch of the characters. These are all based on Cyberverse. So you can see the characters in that. We had Grimlock RC, Shadow Striker,
Hot Dog Stand.
Hot Dog Stand.
I mean, it's obviously just a model of the game, but
yeah. Palm trees.
Yeah.
Spare parts.
Yeah.
But I mean, so I think it's always cool to see artwork from the games and seeing the assets, all the things that all the artists worked on. I think it's I like. It's kind of like the artists get to show it off, like build their resume and show all the different artwork, and it's cool for us as consumers of the media to get a chance to see some behind the scenes there. Okay, next, this was a bit of a surprise this week, or last week, I should say. We had the new trailer for Transformers EarthSpark. So we've been reviewing the first 10 episodes of EarthSpark. We're up to episode 6, so we've got 4 more to look at. But now we have a trailer for the next set of 8 episodes that are coming March 3rd. So we just have less than a month before the next set of episodes will be coming. So this trailer was pretty interesting. I liked. I mean, there's nothing too spoilery here, but we see more Decepticons. I'm happy to see more Decepticons coming into the show. We see Starscream, of course. He was featured. Of course, we knew Starscream was coming. We saw Shockwave too. And then one thing that go ahead.
You see Bumblebee in a VW-esque mode. I don't know I haven't finished season 1 yet.
I mean, well, spoiler alert, that doesn't happen in season 1. So this is not a spoiler for season 1, but I did not realize that was his VW mode there. That's cool. But then, but this was the surprise for me. Apparently, I think that's Breakdown.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Bumblebee being friends with a Stunticon, that's news to me. But I do like we get more seeing another Decepticon who has gone straight or gone legit, like Megatron, I guess. So that's good to see that we're, and then Tarantulas. I forgot Tarantulas. Yeah, that's another reveal we had here. So,
oh wait, was that Optimus
with the face mask?
No, and with the standard logo.
Oh yeah, no ghost logo. That's right. Yeah.
And same with Megatron.
I'm guessing these are flashbacks, so we're going to get more backstory into how the war actually ended on Earth, and why Megatron disbanded the Decepticons or whatever.
Yeah, is that the AllSpark? It's reminiscent of the movie version of the AllSpark.
Maybe.
In the beginning was the cube.
But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hoping that Shockwave is not the big bad again. Like, Shockwave's been the big bad, at least in the comics, he's been the big bad a lot. It's like, give Shockwave a rest. I mean, maybe he can still be a villain, but not like the main bad guy. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and Grimlock.
Grimlock is coming,
and he's apparently he's mind controlled or something, or going berserk, where he's not in control. So
isn't that how it always does with Grimlock when he's introduced? Even in G1.
Yeah, I did like Grimlock in Cyberverse as the kind of
intelligent.
Yeah, like Bruce Banner / the Hulk in Earth in Cyberverse. I wonder if it's going to be a similar thing here. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, this is really interesting. It having not finished season 1 yet, I am excited that we're getting more, because it is a good show for the age group it's targeting. I mean, I don't really have too many bad things to say about it.
Yeah, and I like it's not a Autobot Decepticon war show, and that's because this is it's kind of like similar to how Rescue Bots was, and Rescue Bots was geared at much younger kids, but it was just a show about Transformers, not just doing stuff, not
right,
a show about like the Autobot Decepticon war. So this is kind of another version of a post-war Autobot Decepticon show, which I think is very interesting. And yeah, I'm curious to see how far this goes and exactly what the status of the Autobots and Decepticons are here, because we touch on it a bit in like the first 10 episodes of season 1, but maybe we'll get more backstory on what's actually going on here. So
yeah, and I love that it's not rehashing the same origin type stuff that we've seen a million times.
Yeah,
give us that post-war stuff that we got in the comics, and now seeing it here, it's just, I don't know, more satisfying entertainment in my eyes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so look forward to that. So this will they packed a lot of interesting stuff in this 30-second trailer. And this will be, so the new episodes will be starting on March 3rd. So and also in addition to that, they're gonna be, so this is on Paramount Plus, that they're going to be on March 3rd, and you can watch all the episodes on all the current episodes on Paramount Plus now. In the press release, it said that actually this was the EarthSpark, when it premiered, was one of the top 5 most watched kids shows on Paramount Plus. So that bodes well for its popularity. And it will be debuting on Nickelodeon. I guess it actually already debuted last week on February 3rd. So
season 1.
Yeah, season 1. So if you don't have Paramount Plus, you can watch the first 10 episodes on Nickelodeon as they put them out weekly. But then if you are on Paramount Plus, or if you sail the high seas, you can get access to season 2 coming March 3rd. Okay, so in addition to all that media news, we've got Rise of the Beast stuff. So Transformers Rise of the Beast, the marketing machine is gearing up. We've got the Super Bowl this weekend, so big thing coming there. First up, we've got Rise of the Beast clothing line, and you can get this at Amazon. So you can take a look at some cool merchandise featuring the Transformers characters in Rise of the Beast. So yeah, I mean that's cool. This all ties in with the movies, particularly like seeing RC and the Beast characters there, in addition to Optimus Prime and Bumblebee. So nice to see RC in her new form there. Uh, yeah, these look pretty cool. I might pick up that RC shirt. I like that RC shirt. So
Yeah,
but cool. Um, you know, merch is merch. Got to have your tie-in merch for the movie.
right.
Next up, we've got the Rise of the Beast junior novelization coming. So we've got two books tackling. I guess each of these books will cover maybe a section of the movie. And these first two books are Mission at the Museum and The Search is On. So, these are we don't have any more information about. I mean, of course, it would spoil the movie if we got these books, but I mean, you can guess, I guess, that part of and I think we've already talked about how part of the movie takes place in New York City, and then part of it takes place in going into South America to search for some ancient artifact. So I think these books are covering pieces of the story. So
Yeah, and they will spoil the movie.
yeah, so wait till you've seen the movie before you pick up these books, if you are planning to pick them up
Well,
to
although
read.
if you have a young kid and you want to get them interested, go ahead.
Yeah.
I might grab one of these for my kid.
Yep. And next up, we had some information from the French Convention 2023 event that Transformers Rise of the Beasts will be available in 3D. I mean, I don't think this is a big surprise. All the big budget franchise movies are shown in 3D. So, yeah.
Woo.
Hopefully it's, I mean, I know, Jeremy, you're not too big on 3D, but
as a glasses wearer, it's really uncomfortable watching a 3D movie.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of also it's kind of an afterthought if they haven't actually filmed it for 3D. It's kind of just you're doing a quick and dirty conversion. It doesn't look too great. So
yeah, the best 3D movies I've ever seen have been like animated movies that were designed from the start to be 3D, and that's where it works.
Mm-hmm. Right. And our last bit of media news, of course, I already teased it. Super Bowl Sunday, we will have another Rise of the Beasts spot. I don't know if it'll be a full trailer, but it will be a commercial spot on the Super Bowl during the Super Bowl. So you can see that's the poster. Power is primal. That's a cool tagline there. So Paramount will be airing a Rise of the Beasts trailer or TV spot, however you want to call it, on Super Bowl Sunday during the Super Bowl. There will also be trailers for, I guess, Scream 6 and Dungeons and Dragons, the new Dungeons and Dragons movie. So I didn't know they were up to Scream 6. That was a surprise for me.
I walked out of Scream 1.
Oh.
I'm not a fan of those horror movies, even in that genre.
But yeah, so I mean, we're not a Scream podcast, but I thought it was interesting that they're up to Scream 6. But yeah, so let us know. I mean, we're gonna try to. I don't know if we're gonna see what kind of live reaction we can do for the Super Bowl spot, but we'll have some commentary or comments up for
at the very least. We will like tear apart the trailer after the fact.
Yeah. So look forward to that next week. And yeah, the Super Bowl is just a couple days from now. So as you're listening to this, Super Bowl Sunday is just 2 days from now. So you will be watching that TV spot very soon.
Go team.
Go Eagles. I'm rooting for the Eagles. All right. That's all our media news. So let's move on to convention news.
All right. Well, buckle up. We've got a ton of convention news this week. Starting off with TFcon LA, we have Tyler Blazinski, who was writer on Transformers Galaxy's Constructicons Rising, the comic book. He's going to be there. And then we have Bob Joles, the voice of X-Brawn in Transformers Robots in the Skies 2001. I think we have other RID 2001 voice actors as well. So I'm excited to see, more from that cast. Ron Friedman, who is the writer on Transformers the movie. Travis Arts, who is the voice of Hot Rod in Transformers Cyberverse. Jim Sorensen, the author of The Ark, The Allspark Almanac, and The Art of Transformers Packaging. Jessica DeGiovanni, who was the voice of Windblade and Cosmos in Cyberverse and RC in the War for Cybertron series. And Tiana Camacho, who is the voice of Frenzy in Transformers EarthSpark.
This is a bit of a spoiler for you, Jeremy. Sorry.
And then Andy Barnett, who is the voice of Rhinox in the Netflix War for Cybertron Kingdom series. And then Robeson, this probably should have been in the toy show, but I mean, they're at TFcon Chicago, and they're also going to be at TFcon Los Angeles, bringing their Transformers Optimus Prime auto-converting robot. And I have to say, having seen it in person, it is really awesome. So, I'm sure they're going to have plenty on display for you to see.
Look at, not touch. I don't think they're going to let you touch it.
Yeah, I doubt they'll let you touch it. Moving on to TF Nation, they have announced for their TFcon MiniCon in Manchester, that's going to be March 25th at the Piccadilly Hotel. Chris Carter is going to be there. He was a colorist throughout the early part of IDW Transformers, from Devastation, a number of Spotlight issues, and also All Hell Megatron. And then he also worked on some of the movie tie-ins, Nefarious, Alliance, and Revenge of the Fallen. So he has also worked on other series like Doctor Who, Torchwood, Mars Attacks, and TMNT. So that is awesome. And this is, I don't know if we've ever even reached out to him for an interview. We should reach out to some of those early IDW people that kind of preceded the podcast.
Yeah, we should. Yep.
Renegade Game Studios held a virtual convention last week, and in it they announced many things. There's a G.I. Joe deck building game coming up, or I guess that's already out, but there is going to be a crossover with Transformers, which, if you have both licenses, you're apt to combine them. This will be, let me get notes on this. It is, let's see. So this is more of a crossover on the G.I. Joe side of things, adding the Transformer characters in there. And I believe they had some of the cards that was on this other page here, where you have like the His Tank Megatron. So, it ties in with some of the crossover toys that have been released. And then they also announced on the Transformers side of things a another adventure book on the RPG called called The Time Is Now, which, sorry, there we go. So this will be new new stories you can play on the RPG side of things, and then for the deck building game, they have another expansion called War on Cybertron. So
On, not for.
yeah. So, and they said you're going to be controlling Cybertron cities to determine the fate of the planet. It's 175 new cards. So pretty interesting. And looks like the Renegade Games Hasbro partnership is going very well because lots and lots of announcements there.
I want so for the War on Cybertron, do you still need the base set? I mean, if you've got 175 new cards, can't you just play the game just with that?
It looks well, they say it's an expansion, and it's a big box expansion. So we have to check with Mike, I guess, to see if you need the base game. Well, actually, here, no, it's a standalone game, or it can be combined with the core set.
Oh, okay.
So I can put this up. Yeah, so they describe it here. So it has everything you need to play if you just want to play by itself.
Neat.
So yeah, the deck building game was a lot of fun. A couple times we've had the chance to play it.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll be able to get that into Tabletop Simulator pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's all our convention news. So let's finish up the show with some feedback. Okay, so we had one piece of feedback from our friend of the show, DJ Ronan. He was commenting on our review of Transformers EarthSpark from Alt Mode last week. We in episode 6 of EarthSpark, we had Wheeljack guest starring. So we mentioned how Wheeljack had that goatee, and we talked about how had originally saw that in Cyberverse. But DJ Ronan comes up with a fun fact that Wheeljack's the origin of that mustache, the Fu Manchu mustache on Wheeljack, was originally from Transformers Prime, an animation, but it all began from way back from Masterpiece Wheeljack, the original Masterpiece Wheeljack release, which I believe was 2014, because that was when we picked
the box right here.
Yeah,
it's all in Japanese.
But I think we both picked up a Masterpiece Wheeljack at TFcon Chicago 2014.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And in that one, if you pull off the faceplate on that Wheeljack figure, there is a mustache underneath. And DJ Ronan has the picture of his MP Wheeljack, and you can see the faceplate. Or I don't know if it's him, but it's a picture.
Yeah, I think you found it online. But there's no need for that to be molded on, because it's covered with the mask.
Yeah.
And if you take it off, he has a hole through his head. But yeah. It's really well detailed, and
it's just an Easter egg the designers put in there for no reason.
I mean, it's better than that horrible one. If you took off Optimus Prime's, I think it was MPO1. It's this horrible looking like expression. So go Google that,
or don't. Well, thanks, DJ Ronan, for writing in and reminding us of that. And that's all our feedback for this week. And that takes us to the end of this episode of Transmissions Alt Mode. As always, at the end of every episode of Transmissions, we give a shout out to our Masterpiece Donatrons. These are the people who contribute at our highest level on Patreon, which is why we give them a mention in every episode, because we really appreciate that support. So thank you once again to John 4X Levengood and Demon Tech 82. You guys rock. And before we go, of course, I want to remind you that we have our code at toyhacks.com. So if you are buying anything from toyhacks.com, you can use our code for 15% off everything at their store with our code TM1234. Again, that code is TM1234. Use that to save 15% on your entire order at toyhacks.com. And it helps out Transmissions in the process. So help us help you, or we help you help us. I don't know. It's either way.
Help us, help you, help us.
It's a win-win-win.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. Thanks again for watching and listening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Transmissions. If you'd like to join the conversation, travel to our Discord channel at transmissionspodcast.com/Discord. Want some cool transmission swag? Feast your eyes on our transmissions gear at transmissionspodcast.com/shop. If you'd like to support our podcast, go to transmissionspodcast.com/support or tell your friends about our show. We'll see you next time.